Greetings to all in creation. This is the Final Events Energies Update article for tonight, and it is still the 10th of February 2022, and it's a tad past 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We are in Hilton Head Island, South Carolina, on the north end of the island, 400 William Parkway Road. And we have just received a tad of additional information regarding this investigative process, because as you all know, as soon as I did get the call from David Abbott Rogers in order to leave House of the Future, and all the innuendos that was used regarding my mother calling us a cult and calling this thing whatever, and then saying that you got to pull the plug, whatever else, is now kind of unfolding in a direction where I simply took the invite because, mention my personals and mention projections on that, I'm going to have to investigate. And I needed to come for myself and investigate, which is what I'm doing. So with the ongoing investigative process efforts, as you all know, there's a lot of data that is, just not made up, but atomically speaking, the atoms all know what is really ongoing since the beginning of time, having known the present moment of now being always and in everything ever present in the Akashic records. It replays. So once you have Christopher Columbus supposedly discover the Americas, the United, this land here, and then the David Abbott Rogers brought me here for the former wife, so-called same Christine, and then now you have the same for mock tuna salad, the same here, EuroTrash, whatever modality that is, with Tatiana Kristina Pushkina, and we already mentioned all the facts in the morning. So basically they opened a portal, with a Christian thing, Christine, and as you all know, Jesus was not a Christian, Buddha was not a Buddhist, and Muhammad was not a Muslim. I mean, it's all about love, and then the rest is just manipulation. So this is all anti-love. Like anything that is manipulated, that's all anti-love. So you have the frequency where you got the David that had married the German Christine who never spoke a word of English on a bus, taught her English, and then forced me to wear its clothes in order for that to manufacturally happen structurally. Now for beings like the Caitlyn Jane Gretzinger, who now all of a sudden make pretend that they don't know what they've done, but they're still, on a tonality of jealousy, meaning when they refer to me, they go, oh, wouldn't you rather have a job and rather than do crazy things to, just always to like deny the inheritance, deny my covenant, deny my awakening, deny that they know that they tried to make me their little, left side maid to pay me money, over or under the counter. Hey, can you please clean my dishes? Can you please, I'll pay you $50, I'll pay you $20, so that I end up, being the either, and because they tried because they knew they were going to take what's mine, and then they now try to give me like, breadcrumbs on the path, and they're thinking I'm going to take it, and they're thinking I don't notice, and they're thinking that I'm going to be stupid forever because they can't take accountability and be sorry ever, no matter what. So when it first began to communicate, I was at Enchiladas. They're like, oh, aren't you scared of the Oaks? Whatever. It's all manipulation techniques. I never went to see Seavilles that night, and then they're like, oh, I'm going to Hawaii. I missed on that invite. So now they're like, oh, Dave, Mel, and Jason are all in Sarasota. But I don't appreciate, to begin with, any of this. So I can't now take an option after you all destroyed my life. It's not going to happen. If somebody comes in my life to lie to me and, scam me and rob what's mine, and then when it's done, you come back and you go, oh, well, now that it's done, why don't you make pretend you're a douchebag and that you have dementia? No, I'm not a douchebag and I don't have dementia. It still happened. And they all know because her mother is the one who sent me the comments saying that I'm the like tiniest Russian dolls after I took a photograph with my mother and I posted it on Facebook. And my mother's like, hey, move out of the chambers. And then, you know, Russia did the whole, you know, prostitution job and beyond. And now it thinks that it's entitled to the funds since it thinks that, you know, having drank my mother's blood and made fraud for Viva Aurora songs and then trying to like set me up with a Saudi. First of all, to all my uncles in Saudi, my grandmother is the one who got you in the palace. She got you in the Al Saud house. For you to have used that against her, set her up in the ER, to jack her up and kill her after she brought me out of Kuwait so that I don't marry a Sunni Muslim and I don't be a subservient to some fag for the rest of my life. Um, and then for you all to use that against me and her and my mother to now try to force marry me to this Russ Vivo, like as an irony, hypocrisy, is really gross. All this has been really disgusting, to be quite honest. You can't possibly expect a woman to be that dumb unless you all hate yourselves, hate your counterparts, and hate all women in creation, which is very apparent at this right point. So now the whole thing is as such, and we made a little chart. So you have, you know, there's the army versus the policia. So what's army? It's Amy, and then R is for Russell. So that's Amy and Russell, and that's how, you know, her whole life she was a slave to Lucifer. Like, oh, Lucifer, I love you, and they sent her non-Lucifers, tack, 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 one after the next. And then on her, you know, after they really jacked her up and, you know, did the simultaneous poisoning situation when I had to, like, so-called fuck them in 3-2-1 at Ocean Dunes, and I didn't, which was a Sagittarius, you know, for the Heather thing to, like, then they had to send him in, and he goes, so when they put in, you know, the, like, see-through, you know, intake through those poisonous substances that they put in drinks and food, what happens when that happens is that soon after, it's in my body, it's in someone else's body, and then they'll send in the guy, and then that's when she had to make peace with all her, you know, induced ritualistic practices that were done all her life, and then he showed up in her face. So then she had to make connections between the inducement states and that state of hers and recognize that, oh, okay, you know, Stephen Thompson was not Russell Pearson. Russell Pearson is Lucifer. He didn't look like who she thought was Russell Pearson at first, years ago. You know, as soon as she got the reveal, he probably made crazy love to her, and then once she orgasmed, you know, him and Amber probably killed her simultaneous. Amber took in the spirit. That's how they roll, you know. That's what they think is the second coming or whatnot, whatever it is. It's all women mutilation abuse, same as my mother, you know. Probably, I don't even know, but it is possible that they had, you know, her biological father, Fuad, actually, you know, sexualize her as a child or whatever. Like they said, he carried her as a child, so I don't really know what that refers to. But probably as soon as they induced her in the ER, they brought in Stephen Jared Thompson, who probably was in the room, and he was 13 when, you know, Fuad al-Khoury had his so-called stroke, so that he can imbibe and take his spirit or soul, whatever you call that. And then most probably I have met these people in my induced states prior to now, but now I still don't have full access to my induced states because I have not bridged yet all my psychological, etheric body, mental body, physical body, and soul self, etc. all at once. There still is the disconnect, is the cause of the pain. So as soon as I mingle all worlds and I unite heaven and earth in and out, and I have my inner divine union, then I quite really don't really care about, you know, which bait they're trying to send me for me to go to that team or this team. So now you have like the CIA versus the FBI. CIA is like Policia, the police. Poland, ICE. What's Poland? So they, you know, they said that my church is Poland, Saudi, and Hawaii. Hawaii was Hiroshima. Japan. Nuclear is why now, you know, EuroTrash is trying to do Russia. You know, nuclear threats with Ukraine, and then, you know, invasion threats, and then they're not going to do nothing. I mean, if Putin, you stand for, you know, your, you know, this you're already gone. I mean, it's already finished. Finished, zonked out. There's no more EuroTrash. This whole project is Shazam zoomed out, done. Whatever was done in Rome to my mother, whatever, Italy now and Spain and everything else. I mean, you're gonna have to forget your names, forget your countries, forget your constitutional childhood programming, be non-dual. Otherwise, you cannot get near me. And I still have to now, inside me, touch base with the feeling. I have to feel exactly what my mother felt, and apparently also, my father and brother have been put through, police, whatever, cop, army, mini cop, whatever, abuse, just force fucking, in order for whoever needs the sperm. It's all sperm robbery. That's why I'm so anti, because I don't participate in none of that. Immaculate conception, it is until the end of time. This is what new creation is. I'm not going to participate in any of that. Whoever wants to come near me has to come in person, whoever you are, be it this or that. And then thinking about it truly, like for the Stephen Jared Thompson guy, for at 13 to be in a room or whatever, however this happened, to take in this one, and however the rest happened, but for his healing, I mean, imagine how awful these beings. I don't even know that they can feel at this point. Who are we kidding? And the greed and hypocrisy, disgusting, disgusting, disgusting. So for Caitlyn to have set me up in order for Heather to rob my divine child, and now try to honestly, these people have lost a lot of ability of humanity, basically, is what it is. And then some people are, pro-US, and some people are anti, United States. They want the Union versus America, whatever that is. I am non-dual. I'm just watching you all. I'm not gonna pick a side. I'm not gonna do none of that. I don't care how far the calendar goes. Now they're trying to make courts, and however they're doing it. I don't know, with a mark thing. Okay, they didn't let Billy in so that I end up either marrying, Billy or whatever else option after they take everything from me, and so that I stay my maiden. And now that I fought, they'll just want to give me the Aura Morningstar according to Facebook, since, McDonald's was hijacked by non-real people who opened it, same as Facebook was hijacked by Zuckerberg when it's not even him who's behind the concept. So they wanted to make people who's not behind things just be in power and just dog the rest of the people, whatever that is. It's not really working because I'm not really biting no bait. So I'm going to keep on doing my inner divine union stuff until the end. Or until my heart can feel the feelings that are related to these topics.